The man was just about to eat when he discovered that even meals required martial arts training at the Shaolin Temple. Monks had to leap across a pond by stepping on floating wooden planks. If even a drop of water touched their robes, they were not allowed to enter the dining hall. He watched as the senior disciples moved with ease, landing gracefully on the other side. Thinking it looked simple, the newcomer stepped onto a plank without hesitation, but immediately lost his balance and fell into the water. Dripping wet, he tried to head straight for the dining hall, but was stopped by a senior monk. It turned out that no one was allowed inside with wet clothes. Left with no choice, he took off his robes and hung them up to dry. By the time he finally got dressed and entered the hall, the 3 large buckets of food had already been emptied by the other monks. He then noticed another food bucket off to the side and rushed over with his bowl. But to his surprise, that bucket was reserved for the temple's head monks. Not only did his bowl get snatched away, but he was also harshly scolded by the abbot. However, the abbot refilled his bowl and brought him back to the pond. He said, "If you can keep your balance, you may finish this meal." But forget eating, he couldn't even stand steadily on the plank, and once again fell straight into the water. As punishment, he had to wash every single dish and utensil. The next day, seeing no one guarding the entrance, he tried to sneak into the dining hall by climbing over the wall. But the abbot caught him mid-act and knocked him into the water with a single blow. Everyone nearby laughed at the sight, and their mockery lit a fire in his heart. That night, while the others were asleep, he quietly found 2 large barrels and started practicing his balance and coordination. After countless failures, he finally learned how to move quickly on the rolling barrels, even managing to switch between them mid-step. So when the senior monks gathered again, expecting to watch him fail, he stunned everyone. He stepped lightly onto the plank, then performed a difficult mid-air leg switch, landing perfectly on the far side. The abbot smiled with satisfaction. To push him further, he took the plank apart, turning it into thin wooden strips. Even monks skilled in light footwork struggled and fell into the water. The abbot explained, "The more force you use, the faster you'll sink." He demonstrated with a dish, the movement must be fast, precise, and sharp. The man understood. That night, he returned to the pond to practice again. With persistence, he eventually mastered crossing the water even on the narrow strips. The abbot observed everything in silence. Once he saw enough, he sent the man to the next stage, arm strength training. The test? Carrying 2 buckets filled with water, each fitted with sharp blades. If his arms gave out, he would be seriously injured. His face twisted in pain, but this was only the beginning. How would he survive the next trial?